Ever since I started my second show, Cheap Damage, I've been getting a lot of requests. But so far, one request has stood out above the rest. Pogs. Now, I said earlier how I didn't want to review games that were just about things running into things. But that doesn't mean I can't talk about Pogs on this show. You remember the game. You stack up a bunch of cardboard circles and take a little metal disc and claim whichever ones you knock face up. The game was said to have originated in Hawaii during the 1920s, although it is believed to be older than that. However, the game didn't get a name until the 1970s, when children would play with bottle caps off Pog bottles, a popular fruit juice that was produced on the islands. Fast forward about 30 years when a school teacher in Maui introduced her childhood game to students as a form of teaching them math. As the game's popularity grew, a company in Canada started manufacturing just Pogs, commercial grade with different images.
Elf Pogs! Remember Elf? He's back! In Pog form.
From that point on, Pogs were more about collecting the different kinds rather than playing the game. But that just made their value skyrocket. Of course, surprise, surprise, parents and teachers threw a pissy fit about them, claiming that they were teaching kids to gamble. Of course, if today's feature had ever caught on, then they could have fallen back on the whole Satanism and black magic excuse, which is always a kick.
But while you might not take it quite seriously, I assure you that demons take it quite seriously. Satan takes it quite seriously. Your children need to know there's a devil, and he hates them, and he wants to ruin their life.
The Legend of the Hawaiian Slammers was one of the many animated pilots that found its way onto VHS in the early 90s. Spent good money on a short that a network didn't want to pick up? Just slap that shit on a VHS, and knuckle-dragging kids will pay about $12 for it. I know, I bought most of them. Right at the very beginning, I'm conflicted. I want you to hear how repetitive this theme song is.
Slammers of darkness, slammers of light. When they come together, they fight, fight, fight. Hawaiian slammers, Hawaiian slam, slam, slammers they strike like hammers. Hawaiian slam, slam, slammers. Slammers of darkness, slammers of light. When they come together, they fight, fight, fight. Hawaiian slammers.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
But if I do that, I'll be showing you everything that's in the show. That's right, the opening is literally a visual summary of everything in the show. It even repeats some scenes over and over again. Rule of thumb, if you don't have enough footage to play with, then don't write a 1.5-minute long theme song.
How do I turn you off?
So we open up with this guy named Von Fragman, and, he's got a thing. You know how I do.
Just as I postulated, a slammer of darkness, according to these hieroglyphics. Of course!
Of course!
Like the sun commands its planets, he whom the slammer revolves around is master of its power.
Ancient Hawaiians knew the structure of the universe centuries before Galileo. Good for them.
What powers do you possess?
I am Shadow Slammer. I can bring darkness to the heart and terror to whomever I touch.
Oh, I could do that too. It's called a dimmer switch.
Are there others like you?
9 more.
Where are the other slammers?
Buried within this volcano.
So now that we have our villain explained, we can now introduce our hero, Ronnie, playing a game with his friends. And right off the bat, you may notice our hero doesn't really look Hawaiian. That's not to say that Hawaiians can't look like the love child of Egon and Janine, but if you're going to have a series set in Hawaii, you might want to have a native Hawaiian as the main character. That would be like remaking Hawaii 5-0 today and casting a bunch of white guys in the leads again. What? They did? They did?
Oh, right! I got your holograph cap, Ronnie.
Yeah, well, I've been working on a special move. Check this out.
Gosh, I wonder if this little move will play a pivotal part later on in the story.
I gotta try that one.
You're such a goof, Barack. So after the game, Ronnie finds a second slammer that got hurled out of a volcano.
Leave, badass, leave!
On his way to lessons with his Asian, Scottish, albino Jamaican guitar teacher.
I believe one of you found something that belongs to me.
And I believe you forgot to knock. Come back in half an hour after this boy's lesson. Amazing!
Where is the slammer?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't have the power!
I found something in the cane field.
Luckily, when Ronnie empties his pockets, the slammer he found just so happens to spin around him.
Like the sun commands its planets, he whom the slammer revolves around is master of its power.
Huh?
So, Sun Slammer, a giant bare-chested Adonis wearing a bizarre skin-tight outfit, just appeared out of nowhere. A lesser reviewer would make a tacky Fire Island remark, but instead, I'll just let the cartoon make its own joke.
Destroy him!
As you wish.
Why don't you fight back?
Because you have not commanded me to do so.
Counterattack with whatever you feel like, man.
Wait, hold on, what?
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Dude, come on, man. Fuck. I don't care what you fucking do.
I don't even know what
Just
is it-
say fucking solar beam.
Whatever, do solar beam.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Oh no! My folks will kill me if I wind up on the 11 o'clock news.
Why? Why would they? Oh, never mind, it's just cartoon logic.
I think I can shed some light on your problem.
Perish, non-believers! So with that out of the way, Ronnie and Sun find a nice place to give the rest of the backstory.
A great volcanic explosion caused a warp in space and time, releasing 5 evil entities from our world. The Slammers of Darkness. Slammer, Storm Slammer, Lead Slammer, Fire Slammer, and Shadow Slammer. In an attempt to stop them, 5 Slammers of Light were sent through the warp. Rain, Earth, Gold, Ice, and myself, the Sun. 100 years we clashed, throwing our energy of light against their dark powers to keep them from destroying your civilization.
We weren't very good at it. Long story short, the Slammers were locked in eternal battle. At least, I think that's what's going on here. So they did something to trap themselves in metal discs. So now not only do they need a human to release them, but they'll turn back into discs if they're ever defeated in battle, or if they get too far away from their master. Which is why Ronnie has to go with Sun into a volcano to find the other Slammers before Von Fragment does. Oh, and also, Ronnie is the chosen one.
You serious?
I don't know how they're doing it, but they're heading the right way.
It's the boy. He has the sight.
You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh. You wanna get sued?
Anyway, Dark Slammer separates Ronnie from his protector, and even though he gets to the Slammers first, Von Fragment and Shadow easily overpower him and start releasing Dark Slammers to outnumber Sun.
No, you can't!
Use the Force, Luke.
Shadow Slammer, get it!
As you wish.
When he was saying as you wish, what he meant was, I love you.
Huh?
Don't you stand there gawking. Command me.
Fragment just says screw the rules and dumps the Slammers on the floor, which somehow summons the rest of the Dark Slammers. But then Ronnie lucks out and he summons the Light Ones. They fight and cause the volcano to erupt, and all the Slammers change back into discs. Luckily, Ronnie was able to get out in time, but he's still sad that he'll never see Gold Slammer again. Oh yeah, and that one guy. But it doesn't look like he can escape his destiny so easily. He's so excited, he doesn't even notice the skin on his hand being seared off by the rock that just obviously fell from an erupting volcano. So Ronnie's off to have many exciting, action-packed adventures. At least he would if the island wasn't so obviously being engulfed by magma and ash. So that's the legend of the Hawaiian Slammers, and I can see why it didn't get picked up. For all the potential it has, the rules of this universe were vague and often contradicted themselves. I did like how they made Ronnie a normal kid, interested in what was happening, but at the same time hesitant as well. But the whole Shining thing, it was a little too much. You kind of get a feel for Shadow and Sun, but all the other characters are just rushed through. And talk about being at the right place at the wrong time. I mean, I think this is literally 3 years before Pokemon started the collectible creatures craze in America. There are tons of properties like this now. Of course, this was somehow also at the wrong place at the right time. Remember how I introduced them as Pogs, but in the cartoon they kept calling them Caps?
Cool cap.
Well, that's because Pogs is just a brand name, and I guess Caps is the proper name for these. So they didn't have the brand name, and they didn't have defined concepts or characters. And you know what? All that adds up to
Beak.
I took it and threw it on the ground. I don't need your handouts. I'm an adult. Welcome to the real world, jackass. So many things to throw on the ground, like this and this and that and even this. I'm an adult.
Bam! What? Oh, God, my fucking knee!